The woman who once held my hand across a splintered wood table was my ex-wife. I was surprised to receive an invitation to her wedding. We used to mumble about creating a straightforward, lovely life that I can still envision. She laughed at my flower mess while walking barefoot in the kitchen, her arms encircling my neck, as though nothing else in the world could touch us. Back then, it wasn't a compromise. It was a decision, a choice, or so I believed. Then the shift arrived. At first, it was a wrinkle of her nose when I entered, a space that smelled of cinnamon and sawdust. Her praise turned into recommendations. Perhaps you ought to hire a qualified accountant. Maybe you should go back to school. Then came the outright contempt. She didn't leave during a fight. No, she left with a dramatic crescendo, a voicemail that began with, "You deserve more," and ended with, "I met someone." That someone turned out to be Roman Eastwell, the heir to Eastwell Global's opulent real estate empire. Skyscrapers, penthouses, and portfolios worth more than my entire hometown. When the invitation came, I called him a parasite with flawless teeth. The media called him an architect of luxury. It arrived on thick cardstock, etched text, the kind that cost more than a week's worth of groceries. I was about to toss it into the fireplace until I saw the back, written in blue ink. Her handwriting, still curved the same way. If you want to see what real success looks like, the thing about humans, we mistake stillness for surrender. We confuse silence with defeat. They send love letters instead of taunts and believe if you left their orbit, you must be drifting directionless. I let her believe that for years. Let the world believe I was just a man with a cabin full of memories and a wounded heart. But I had been planting. And pain makes excellent fertilizer. So I said yes. Not because I didn't think twice. I did. The thought haunted me like a shadow, creeping at the edge of a campfire. I told myself it was for closure, for finality, to stand in the back, quietly, and let her perfect new life wash over the remnants of what we once were. That was the story I told myself as I ironed my charcoal gray, perfectly tailored suit. No flashy labels, just sharp lines. The kind that whispers value instead of screaming it. The 3-hour drive from my lodge to the Eastwell estate passed like a memory. Meandering roads, ancient landmarks. Her voice echoed in my head. I love these places. They don't change. I rolled down the window, let the spring wind mess up my hair. My playlist hadn't changed in years. Some of her favorite songs were on it. I didn't skip them. I just listened harder to the pauses between the lines. The estate was absurd, glittering, gates, manicured lawns. Fountains probably managed by a maintenance crew larger than my entire hometown's population. I arrived in my midnight blue 1972 Chevy truck, fully restored, bolt by bolt, a labor of love. The valet squinted, paused, then took the keys, unsure whether to park it or photograph it. Inside, the marble stretched for miles. Waiters carried silver trays like they held promises. Chandeliers caught the light in 1,000 judgmental angles. Everyone looked like they stepped off a magazine cover. But I was calm, cool, unapologetic. I saw Mira Fallon. She used to call my house charming. Now they gathered around like I was a blemish on the guest list. "Look what crawled out of the countryside," she sneered. They laughed, the kind of laughter that bounces off stone but never reaches the soul. I didn't flinch. Grapes grow in mud. I wasn't there for their approval. And then I saw her. She descended the staircase like it was designed for her. Hair in flawless waves. Gown of designer lace, effortless and worth thousands. She was glowing, unquestionably luminous. She spotted me instantly. Her eyes didn't flicker with shock, but with recognition. Maybe even appreciation. "Grayson," she called, her smile calculated and wide. "This is my ex-husband," she gestured, voice rising, "the one who bakes pies and lives in a cabin." The crowd chuckled. Fallon clapped mockingly. Mira smirked. Smiled, too, because they didn't know. Every smirk was another layer of armor. Every laugh was fuel. Every insult, a seed buried deep in soil they'd never understand. It's just a foundation, I said quietly. Some people use it to build towers. They didn't get it. Not yet. But they would. I hadn't come to prove anything. I came to show them what they missed. The Eastwell estate wasn't the show. They were too busy chasing chandeliers. It was a palace dressed up as a house, a shrine to overcompensation. Valet lines longer than airport terminals. Tuxedos, gowns, and enough marble to tile the moon. But I didn't shrink. I didn't adjust my shoulders. I walked in with my suit, my truck, and a heart steady as the hum of its engine. Silence followed me like a loyal hound, not the kind born of awe, but judgment. People paused mid-sentence, faces twisted in confusion, then curled into laughter. Let them laugh. They've been doing it for years. I passed hedges sculpted into swans, rosewater and money thick in the air. A quartet played something classical, forgettable. Then I heard her voice. Oh my God, Fallon, champagne in hand like a dagger. Hair, tied in a bun that probably required scaffolding. Blush gown that screamed wealth. Didn't they stop letting ranch hands into these events? Mira said, tilting her head like I was an art piece she didn't understand. I didn't stop walking, just smiled politely. Fallon blinked. Mira sneered. Someone choked on a joke. Then she appeared again, my ex-wife. Her gown shimmered like moonlight. Her smile practiced, her posture a performance. Grayson, she purred. I'm so glad you came. Her fingers danced through the air as she spoke. This is my ex-husband. He grows his own vegetables, lives in a cabin, bakes pies. Mira raised a glass. Fallon giggled. I heard someone whisper something smug behind me. I didn't catch the words. Didn't need to. I just nodded. Let it all wash over me, let it bake, let it grow. Then, I saw a flicker in her expression. Something uncertain. She recovered fast. You look nice, she said. I know, I replied. She glanced down at my shoes. Polished. Classic. Expensive, if you knew what you were looking at. I didn't think you'd show, she admitted. You invited me. She lowered her voice. The crowd had thinned. I thought it would be closure. You always liked a dramatic ending. Roman smirked, shrugged. She always had to win.